because we're not in this safe environment to bring that up, right? And that's what I so desire for us and for this church, is that we would create that environment where it's okay to bring your bad stuff. It's okay to come to church without your mask on. It's okay to actually come to Jesus as you are. Amen. That's my hope for this body, is that we would create that environment where, yes, please come in your dirt. Please come and bring all your shackles and bring all your chains, and let's break them. It'll be fun. It'll be great. Like that's the environment that we should be striving for. Because if you bring somebody in here, and again, just offer them living water and offer them life and offer them Jesus. Yes, those are all good things, and we should be doing those. And yes, we should be telling people and offering living water, but we should not leave them there. Offer living water in exchange for your husband, in exchange for your sin. And so and that's where we see this pivotal point in the story where Jesus says, "Go call your husband and come back here." The woman answered, "I have no husband." Jesus said to her, "You have spoken truly in saying, 'I have no husband,' for you have 5. And the man you are with now is not your husband. In this you have spoken truly." And then the woman says, this is where everything turns, because the woman says, "I see and understand that you are a prophet." When Jesus finally says, "Go get your husband, go get your sin," when Jesus finally recognizes this, then this pivotal moment in the story happens where she's like, "Oh my gosh, you are a prophet," right? And there's no other way for Jesus to know that except for the fact that he's Jesus. But this happens, and the woman suddenly understands that this man that she is talking to, this man that is asking for her for a drink, is not just any Jew. This man must be some kind of prophet. This man must be, she still doesn't recognize that it's Jesus, because later on she still questions him. But suddenly she understands this man is not the same as other Jews. And I think it's the same way, is when we finally bring this to Jesus and say, "Here, God, here's all my cred," then I think we just open ourselves up to understanding Jesus in this new way. And I'm not going to lie to you and say, "Hey, just drop it at the cross once and you're good." Because you're not. Sometimes I've had to drop stuff off at the cross, and the same stuff, over and over again. Maybe every single day, maybe every single hour, maybe every single minute. There's been times where I've had to lay something at the cross every single time. Because once was not enough. Yesterday I laid it at the cross and it was great. Everything went fine. I didn't have any temptations. The other day I had to lay it at the cross every single second because I had every single second tempted. Right? This is not just a here. Like, yes, once you do this and once you ask and receive the forgiveness of God, like, yes, it is that one-time thing where Jesus says, yes, you are forgiven. But this is not like a one-time fix is like you're gonna get tempted. It's just unrealistic for me to, very few times does that happen where Jesus is like, yes, you're free. But there's times where Jesus is like, no, you need to take this at the cross. Let's work on it every single day. Why? Because he's growing you, because he's molding you, because he's chipping away parts of your life that don't need to be there. And sometimes it's a one-time process, sometimes it's not. And I can't tell you, well, everything on list A is a one-time process. You will be free in just really quickly. Everything on list B is it's not like a 1-2 year process. Everything on list C is about a 6-year process. Like, no, this is not how that works. You bring this to Jesus every time you need to, and it's between you and him. I can't give you a time frame. I'm sorry. But this is the way that this works. This is the way that relationship works. You don't just drop it off and be, okay, Jesus, fix this. I'll be back in a year. Let me know how that goes. No, this is something that you take to Jesus continually, and you trust him continually. And yes, there's times where it's going to be harder to lay it down than others, but it doesn't mean that you don't lay it down. You lay it down nonetheless. But it's a whole different preaching, so let's talk about that some other time. But once Jesus exposes her sin, suddenly she's like, oh my gosh, you're a prophet, you're something else, right? And Jesus tells her, Women, believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father in spirit and in truth, right? And we hear that a lot when we're talking about like the music ministry, like, yes, music is worshiping Jesus in spirit and in truth. But what does that really mean, right? Because I think one of the vital key elements of being able to worship Jesus in spirit and truth is being able to come to him in all that you are, including everything that you don't want to talk about, including everything that you're not so proud of. Right? I believe that worshiping Jesus is coming to him as a whole. Worshiping him in spirit and truth means coming to him as a whole and being like, Jesus, this is what makes me happy, this is what makes me sad, this is what I'm proud of, this is what I'm not so proud of. God, this is what I've accomplished, this is what I've done so horribly at. Like, I believe that coming to Jesus in spirit and truth means coming to him as a whole, and that includes both sides of you. Because we've grown up just so used to this fact, like, we're going to come to Jesus. So here, Jesus, hello. I'm so glad to be in your presence today. It is a great day. This is just your presence is just great. But here you go. This is a list of everything that I've done. This is the list of all the people that I've told about you. And on section 6 of the paragraph there, you will see every single time that I have sacrificed time for you. And then in section 7 is every single time that I've sacrificed this for you. And Jesus, if you flip to page 562 of the report, you'll see every single time that I have prayed. It's listed all there for you. It's nice and convenient. Jesus, if you flip to page 652 over there, you will see every single time that I played in the music worship band for you. So that's listed nice and clearly. And so we have this understanding of God. I'm going to come to God and I'm going to make sure that he knows I've been doing good. I'm going to make sure that he's aware of all the times that I've played. I'm going to make sure of all the times, that one time where they told me I needed to be a Sunday school teacher and I really couldn't, but I said yes because I love Jesus. I'm going to tell him about that time. Right? And we're trying to just come to Jesus and show him everything that we've done. And yes, he's proud of those stuff, and yes, he's aware of those. He's not like just discounting them. But if you only come to Jesus and to just show your good side, Jesus, don't flip to page 1000 because that's where all my stuff is. Like, you don't need to go there. Let's not read that part. Just stay on the 500s, right around there, right where I served you. Stick to those stories, those pages. Let's just stick to those. Let's deal with those. Right? I think you are, that when we do that, we are not being fair to ourselves. Because we just have this opinion of, let me just come to Jesus in everything that I've done good, and maybe it'll be okay, and maybe he'll fix everything else because I've done everything. God, maybe you'll fix this thing that I've been dealing with for so long because I do serve you, because I do love you. Jesus, do I not love you enough? And we just have this battle in our minds, and you're really fighting with yourself because, and doing yourself a disservice when you don't bring your whole to Jesus. Because if you don't think you could take everything to him, then who could you take it to? You're just going to bottle it up for years and years, and that's not healthy. So you need to take it somewhere. And I'd rather that you take it to Jesus where it's accepted, where it's okay, where let's deal with it. Let's get down and dirty with whatever's going on. Let's deal with it. Then you take it to somewhere where people will accept you. There are people who are like, yes, I'll listen to you, but they don't offer godly advice. And so I would rather that we come to Jesus as a whole and come to him and, God, this is everything that I've ever dealt with. God, this is everything that I'm struggling with, and I don't feel fine, and I don't think you're good all the time. Like, let's come to him like that.